ready for it. So tell me what your thoughts are on our U.S. economy becoming tokenized.
So I do still firmly believe that you need to tie to something real for it to have value. But the other major component is trust. And trust doesn't come from saying, yeah, I got you. Trust comes from proving, yeah, I got you. That's why when we shifted away under Nixon off of fiat, we really opened ourselves up to a system where the math just isn't mathing. We're not going to catch up. It's always going to be inflation. We're finally actually having economists come back and say, yeah, this wasn't the best of ideas. We had Deaton come out and release his statement.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Them Tech Folks podcast. In this episode, we recorded with Elixabeth Ruggeri back in October 21st, 2025. We talked about a lot of different things. Some of the top keywords that we ran through in this discussion: cybersecurity as usual, data governance, cryptocurrency, marketing, OSINT, time management, the usual suspect of imposter syndrome, right? A lot of different things were covered. We had a lot of good laughs. She's very sharp. She calls herself a digital nomad and tech adjacent, but we learned so much that's coming into question, if you ask me. Yeah, check us out. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to like and subscribe. And also check out some of the other content that we have out there. Reach out on any of the social media platforms. You can find all of our links at demtechfolks.com. That's DEMTECHFOLKS.com, where you can find all of our socials. Reach out to us. Give us any kind of feedback that you have. If you feel like we need to cover a different topic, we make the content, but we make it for you. So yeah, without further ado, I hope you enjoy the content that we put out here right now with Elixabeth.
The new kind of stack, real ones adapt, fake ones collapse.
Well, my name is Elixabeth Ruggeri. I am the resident digital nomad, and my specialization is in advertising, but I've recently been side questing for the last few years down the cybersecurity path. And I am also an independent researcher, just published an economics paper on whether the world is ready for a cryptocurrency standard. And spoiler alert, we are not.
Side quest is amazing and very interesting. We definitely got to come back to that. But before we roll into all of the good stuff, let's talk about the not boring stuff, but just the regular stuff that makes you a regular person like everybody else. So what got you into this industry, and what attracted you to it, and how did you end up deciding you wanted to get and play in this sandbox?
So I have been pretty much avoiding the entire IT industry my entire life. I used to tinker with computers when I was younger because I was raised in a household where I wasn't allowed access to the internet or to television. However, if I could make the computer turn on by myself and Dad didn't notice, that was another story. So started playing around just with repairing things and seeing if I can get them to work again. But I ended up focusing my career primarily in advertising. And what really ended up sending me down the cybersecurity path, besides everybody on Clubhouse that, during the pandemic, we all hung out there for quite a bit. But what sent me down that path again is in consulting with advertising, I kept finding insecure data troves, especially credit card files, that I as a contractor should never have had access to, let alone for it to be sitting the way that it was being stored at these companies that I worked at. So it just went down the whole data privacy route, which led into getting my cybersecurity cert.
Nice. And which cert is that?
The CompTIA Security Plus.
Okay. That's a lot of people sleep on that. That's a great cert to start with. You mentioned your dad, right? Is he by chance in the industry, or like what was industry adjacent? What's he do?
No, so my dad is an economics professor, but my uncle is IT adjacent. I call it IT adjacent because he's a Lotus specialist, but his background isn't tech. His background is physics and mathematics. So back in those days, if you were good at math, they just scooped you and trained you as an IT specialist. He retired when the sale happened.
Gotcha. That's interesting. That's funny because, like, you do anything that sounds like a little complicated. Oh, well, we're going to put you on computers. Like, when I was in the Marine Corps, we had to troubleshoot everything from computers, route switches, and even, like, coffee pots. Like, if it plugged in, sent into the data guys. So, Reggie, what do you think about this background in this startup?
So I didn't do a lot of normally before we do an interview, I research a candidate. I didn't have a lot of time due to my time constraints, but I did see a lot of things that you talked about as far as blockchain and a few other things which I'm interested in hearing about. But as far as your background is concerned, it almost sounds like the background of a lot of tech people. We like to tinker, and then that tinkering leads to a career in IT. So did you like to break stuff, or you just like to put it together?
I definitely, I definitely would get frustrated if I broke my own stuff, but I'd always be the one to figure it out again. Well, they can't come after me anymore, but I definitely was known for having a master administrative password to my school's computer for a few years.
So you like a Ferris Bueller.
No, I just get bored easily. I need to be continuously challenged. And that's what led me down the marketing route, because it's such a fast-paced industry. Whereas with cyber, especially when I was graduating, it wasn't seen as something you went to school for.
So so anybody listening, it is not suggested that you use your school's computer system as a fidget toy. Find something else to do. Don't get in trouble.
Don't hack into your school's computer.
Yeah.
Don't hack into your school's computer. But I did want to talk about another subject you brought up, because part of some of the things that I do is data governance. And the fact that you were able to find, I don't think companies realize that, especially in this day and age, how important data is and how to protect your data. So I found it very interesting that the fact that you were just finding just loose data laying around when you work for these companies, and they had no idea this was going on. And I always say that's how you end up on CNN or one of those other major news networks talking about a data breach, because you're not managing your data properly. So you found that as a source of inspiration and a target market. So how is that, I guess, fueling your career? Are you doing data governance? Are you doing cybersecurity in terms of that, or is it just a general cyber career?
So in terms of data governance and just managing the access that you have to customers' data, it's something that I've kind of taken on, especially in my marketing consulting, because I find that in the marketing industry, with the numbers that we're spending every quarter, we're very immune or blasé to the value of the data on the consumers that we're collecting. Like, we just see it as another credit card because we go through hundreds of these a day. So the respect or that protection that you owe your consumers just isn't something that's built into the culture. It's like, haha, I just processed another $1 million invoice. So I really do try to actually bring that forward when I'm training new media buyers or when I'm training agencies and businesses to respect that data, because quite frankly, I still have access to that document 7 years later, and I haven't worked on that client for 5 years.
$1 million purchase. That's just coffee for me. That's just coffee.
No, it's crazy that you just said that. Like 5 years later, I can still access all your stuff, just so you know.
And I've told them repeatedly, begging them to revoke my access or at least put a password on some of these document pages. But it's still living where it's living. And it's just very interesting coming in from the advertising side, how password sharing amongst media accounts is so normal, or even across the advertising accounts, or they'll put the billing onto the junior because nobody else wants to do it. Well, now no one responsible has eyes on it.
What do you think about this, Ebony? You look like you got like a lot in you got a lot of thoughts.
I did have some thoughts, but it wasn't related to the technical questions that were being asked, so I was just quiet for a little bit. But I noticed that Elixabeth does a lot of hospitality prior to your transition into marketing and technology adjacent activities.
Yeah, so hospitality is my favorite moonlighting job. The best way to learn a city and get the layout is to work a bar, particularly close to the financial district. The amount of information that businessmen will just talk about when they think that there's no brain inside your head is hilarious. You get some really great insights as to what contracts are open and available. And it really is even more entertaining when you give them advice and then you walk in 2 weeks later and you're their new contracted boss because they failed.
Burn.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah,
It is
so
for them too.
it sounds like you're an active social engineer as well.
It is a hobby, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not really into hospitality. You into social engineering. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. You leaned heavily into your cybersecurity experience.
I'm just knowing the lay of the land in a new city and getting cash quickly because, it's the quickest way to get your pay before the first round of paychecks. It's efficient.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you can work a bar, but then working a bar is your secondary job.
I mean, keep in mind how I was raised ever since I was 5. My schedule has been constantly packed and curated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 4 days of the week I would be, and this is in high school, after I emancipated, I'm working 4 days a week teaching piano. I'm working 2 days a week at the gymnastics studio, 2 days a week at a retail job, on top of that going to school full time and not taking a single piece of homework home with me because I either get it done on my breaks, during lunch, or I'll skip the gym in the morning.
Do you
So
consider yourself an overachiever?
Rico been skipping the gym in the morning too.
I've been skipping the
Wow.
I've been skipping the gym
this
for
is
the
not
last
about me.
I've been skipping the gym
Not
for the
about
last
me.
year, but that's a whole nother story.
I just think that the most valuable commodity we have is our time and how we use it. So if I find a way to, okay, I kept that high school rigor in my schedule when I went over to university, I made sure to lump my courses together so that they'd be on the same days, opened up more days for work. But then again, I'm no longer taking projects home because I've scheduled in study blocks in between those courses. So as long as I stick to them on the regular, I have all of my weekends free. I have all of my nights free. I'm not panicking like everybody else, but it just comes from the organization and the discipline. And that's why I end up collecting certs in my free time.
Rico's a bit of a cert master.
Oh my God. You make it sound so crazy.
What's the most recent one you
Cert
collected?
master. Sorry.
So I am actually working backwards. I've decided I wanted to delve more into getting my Network Plus. I do a lot of homesteading and living in areas that the internet is not typically reliable. So I am looking at building a few things, setting up my own systems, and then also eventually building out possibly a mining project.
So is it because they actually they give you like a slight primer with the Sec Plus like prep, right? What is it? Just the desire to build your own or more adequately manage your own networking at home that made you want to go towards Net Plus, or like what made you go to?
I'm not doing.
It's a good move though. It's a good move, but I'm just like curious.
It's a foundational move. So I'm not actively working in cybersecurity every single day like everybody else, or I'll call them my colleagues, but I don't work with them. I just know them through the industry. So they're in it every single day. I just get to hear about it and I write about it because that's what I do, a lot of research and writing. But in terms of my practical application, knowing that I at least have some projects lined up, okay, I want to get my Network Plus, and then I can actually apply it to these things that I'm working on. It makes more sense to me than an A A plus, which again is still great foundational knowledge, but I'm not going to be applying that tomorrow.
Right. And it's probably not going to be quite as relevant to, industry news.
Yeah.
Some of it maybe, but, Network Plus, learning about, network infrastructure is definitely something that's going to bring you a little bit closer to what you're reporting on.
And I think it's also that level of foundation and just that base knowledge is kind of what we're missing. We're missing that curiosity for how it works under the hood. So I just want to go back to that a little bit.
And I think that's honestly the most important thing. I tell all of my mentees, I'm like, if you fundamentally understand the basics of any topic, you don't have to be a specialist in everything. You just understand the fundamentals, and it's pretty much the exact same thing. I mean, like when you're looking at cybersecurity, it's like maybe 12 baseline attacks, and all of these complicated ones are combinations of those.
Yeah, because one of the most intelligent people I've had the chance of meeting in the industry, they spent more time asking questions, to be honest. And the thing that made them intelligent was they knew the right questions to ask. You know what I mean? Because some people that ask questions, but then it's just like throwing questions. It sounds more like noise than in a great direction to move a conversation into for better understanding. So yeah, big shout out to the backing up and ensuring your foundation is secure.
The more you learn, the more you are comfortable in admitting what you don't know and knowing where to go out and seek those answers. It's being able to not have to come into a room and fake it till I make it. Not saying that that attitude doesn't help you get there, but when you're in the room and you're just faking all the time, you're not giving an accurate piece of information or representation to the clients. And then you're going to come back and be like, oh, it's like the budget is actually this. That's not going to reflect well on you over time. So it's just being able to take that 2 seconds to be like, nope, but I will find out and have an answer by tomorrow. That works too.
I was at a conference maybe a month ago, and a guy had the exact same thing on his slides, and I think he said it's called the
Dunning-Kruger.
Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect. And they're like, oh, you're here, and then you learn some things, and then you figure out that you don't know anything, and then you're here, and then you ask questions, and then you ask questions, and yeah. So, nope, I'm with it.
Little known fact, I went through that like 4 times this weekend.
What, Dunning-Kruger?
Yeah, pretty much.
Waves
I'm
of
sure it
knowledge.
I'm sure it don't apply to you, bro. Nah, you're probably more apt to see that in effect with like customers and juniors, But yeah, it's definitely rampant in this industry for sure. Like people, and it's not people's fault, I guess. It's more of like you have an ignorance to the effect that you think that there's only this much information and this much of it, when in all actuality you're just not accounting for the unknown unknowns.
So, and I'm gonna plug something for us, right? So, we got a lot of reposts about that imposter syndrome clip, and I noticed you posted it too on your. I mean, and that's what you're talking about is real. I mean, that kind of falls right in line with that whole imposter syndrome. About you think you know what you don't know, what you might know, and you're not sure what you know, stuff like that. So yeah.
You got hired, didn't you? You convinced somebody.
That's a great argument. That's a great argument. And I
Ebony, don't laugh. It's not funny.
Like, we have to start remembering to celebrate the steps that we actually thought were previously insurmountable to get to where you are. Sometimes it's very much that you just don't recognize how far you've come.
That's actually one of the critical defensive measures against imposter syndrome, to celebrate yourself and reflect on accomplishments that you've had. So yes, that's cool.
The other thing is also tying that sense of having to know everything. And I get that from the overachiever childhood, where it's you feel like having to get 100% is the only definition of success. And it's not. It's about effectively dealing with the issue at your job, which for us, it's mostly alerts and, tickets. But what is the most efficient way of getting there? Is that going to be faking it and screwing it up and having to fix it every single time? Or is it learning what is the problem, taking it step by step and resolving it? So
I know we kind of like came in hot, like full speed, but where are you located?
this week,
Yeah, because the weather seems a little crazy right now.
yeah, so I'm in Barcelona, but in about 6 hours, I'll be in Germany.
Is it thundering over there? You got a little lightning on the line.
No, I
It's
think it's
something
the internet's
he's
just
about to do. So just bear with us, okay?
I'm working on it. I'm getting better.
You're not getting better. You're
You're not getting any better.
I can tell you have children. It's cool though.
Can I have a little bit of flowers, like a petal
Go-
or something?
Go ahead.
You did such a great job pressing that button for that sound effect.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Perfectly
Go ahead and
Okay.
start
Thank
the
you.
process,
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you.
Mr.
All right,
Mr. Randall.
well,
Go ahead and start.
Can one of y'all haters give it a reason for the lightning?
Well, this is the part of our show where we ask our guests to teach us something in 1 minute or less. So, Elixabeth, it's up to you to choose your topic, tell us what your topic is, and then we give you 60 seconds to teach it to the listeners and us.
That's why it's called the lightning.
Me, but
the lightning
every
lessons.
time you say her name, it's like a subtle jab.
It's not a subtle jab. Would you prefer to be called something else? I want to make sure.
Or is
that
it
you're-
just because you're receiving it that way because you're holding on to something?
I'm definitely holding on to something.
Social
Probably.
engineering.
Hey. Make sure you save that clip.
I own it. So, Elixabeth, I'm gonna say it like you said, Evan. You got the ground rules, right? You have a minute to give us a period of instruction on a topic of your choice, of your choosing. How much time are we gonna give it to come up with something? Do you need some time to come up with something?
It's usually 1 minute to come up with something. 1 minute.
And you
to
can
explain.
it can be
Some
anything
people-
you want. It doesn't even have to be technically related.
Yeah. Some people come locked and load. I don't want to,
Well,
sometimes.
I have one thing that kind of transcends from marketing over into cyber world, mostly because it applies to OSINT, but that is matching or meeting or targeting whatever group or person you're trying to reach.
Okay. You ready to teach it to us?
Yes, how
Okay,
to
perfect.
best reach your audience.
All
Who
right.
had
Give me one
hold
second.
on now. Hold on. You coming in?
She ready to go.
She ready.
to go.
Look, this ain't nothing. This light work. It's like 6 a.m. Okay.
Oh, so my subject would be getting in front of your target market. And this can be from advertising all the way down to OSINT, but it really comes down to research. So when we are designing an advertising campaign and taking a look at the actual goals of a client, it's not just, oh, hey, I want to sell 5 of these objects, but who is actually going to be the person purchasing that object? And then in terms of that person, do they actually have the decision-making power to spend that money, or are they asking permission from somebody else? So when you're actually coming in and designing your market, okay, your target might be for men, but who goes out and does a lot of the purchasing in the home? It can oftentimes be the wives, the mothers. So we would also target those age groups. If we're aiming for kids, I'm also looking to see where are their parents hanging out and sending the advertising there. In terms of in person or in OSINT, you want to check up the companies that you're looking at. Let's say you're going for a job. What is their turnover? What were the recent raises? What are the recent company announcements that just came out? And then in terms of matching somebody, are they soft-spoken? Are they high energy? Do they play sports? You've got to meet people where they are. You have fun with things.
You cut that thing. Yeah, I love playing with the soundboard. That's my favorite.
You should have kept that. It sounded like you cut the soundboard off. That was good, man. I like
did
that.
Cut it off.
The applause was good.
I had to take in those flowers. She's good at giving flowers. I like that. That was good.
Ebony's face. Ebony, you got to remember, we can see your face.
I forget sometimes. You know, I mean, forget.
You got to understand, we can see your face, okay?
We really gotta start grabbing those faces. We're gonna start calling her Arya Stark, man.
You did such a great job pressing those buttons, Rico. Thank you so much for learning us something, Elixabeth. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Now, in terms of some of the research
Some
that you
hugs.
use for your OSINT, where are some places that you would typically go for that?
So honestly, social media, people have no sense of self-preservation. It's great. Bonus points if you pull up their old quizzes that they did in 2007 on Facebook. All of those answers are most likely true. You can also try and find their MySpace. It really depends how deep you're going. I do also have access to a few different platforms that I'll use in contracts. So certain paid platforms that are built for private investigators in order to pull up information based off of phone numbers, email addresses, things like that. LinkedIn is also a pretty good one that people like to overindulge on. The one thing that I would say to people is that you don't actually have to give out your real information when setting up privacy questions, just FYI.
That's interesting. Thank you. Now, let me ask a question that I think that I may have missed on our initial conversation here. What is your current title?
Yeah, so I am actually a independent researcher as well as head of marketing. So I am tech adjacent, but then I do also write latest in cyber. So I do my best to cover tech or crypto, blockchain, Web3 news every single day. And I have that across primarily Web2 socials because my goal is to translate tech news and tech headlines into something that's digestible for the average consumer.
How would someone find your content if they were interested in, listening to your reporting?
So we are on latest in cyber on everything: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, even Facebook, Pinterest. My goal with it is to create social media content that they're going to receive organically in their feeds and accidentally educate at least one person.
I like that. Accidental education.
I mean, that's how we consume things. That's how we're consuming our news, and we're too lazy to read the reports. So we can leave it to the AI machine that's just going to pull whatever it's going to pull, or I can curate something. And yes, I do definitely use an AI avatar myself. Putting up makeup every single day is exhausting, but at least it's curated and I know that it's checked. And for every single video I've posted, there is sources and articles linked on Substack for clarity.
So that's not really you?
Teardrop.
Wow.
No, it's not me at all.
I feel so betrayed right now.
So it could be her because did you build an AI profile to speak in your voice?
I did.
Like you
So
told it how you talk?
is based off of me, but
it's
I don't.
You adjacent. It's you adjacent.
Just like her, bro.
I built one too. That when I do my postings, I answered like a bunch of questions about how I, and
You got
then,
a head full of hair.
I did have another question though, because earlier you mentioned about your mining project. And if you don't have to kill me, I'd like to know more about that.
Definitely don't. No, I have always really wanted to build some cabins out in New Brunswick, which is where I'm from in Canada. We do not have the warmest of climates. It has been getting better in recent years. We know why, but it's still one of those chilly places where we have winter approximately 8 months of the year. So yeah, it's a little expensive. So I started looking into mining because I actually do social media for a company that provides mining heaters for industrial factories and things like that. Also based out of Canada, up in Nova Scotia, Hestia. But they actually have baseboard heaters that can be done for mining. And then I am on the conference circuit this year. So far I've attended Bitcoin 25, Rare Evo. I just did European Blockchain Convention here in Europe. So I'm constantly getting a lot of mining news as well throughout the industry of just, what they're presenting at the latest conventions. And it's gotten me off the road of, okay, maybe instead of mining one of the main two where costs weren't quite working out for me anymore fiscally when I was planning it, different mining projects such as Cubic or Monero or alternatives, and then going more so into trading and swapping. But that's just something that I've been able to learn more about because of the time that I've spent in the industry. It's not my ideal, hey, I'm going to start a mining company. It's just, I have cabins. If we're going to be offsetting the energy costs anyway, may as well find a way to recycle it and kind of use blockchain for bettering our local environments. So, yeah.
That's dope.
That's awesome. I love that. And I love that you take time for the community that you are presently not in, but making sure that it is getting the benefits of all of your labors. That's
I
beautiful.
do side quests a lot. Yeah.
I think that it's usually about the journey because there's never a destination. So we just got a bunch of side quests, and every side quest presents a small gift or two, which is always the exciting part.
And that's the other thing in consulting where you just need that extra experience. And it's the one thing that I always raise whenever we talk about getting new people into cybersecurity. It's never undervalue your non-IT background or knowledge because it will actually help contribute to the work that you do in this field.
Every single time. You mentioned that you're in Barcelona. Are you on a side quest right now?
Yeah, so I just attended the European Blockchain Convention that was on the tail end of last week, as well as a couple events over the weekend. That one was primarily more so on the fintech, hedge funds, regulation, governance kind of track, which was a little bit interesting for me, made some good connections with the Blockchain Legal Institute, a bit more on the hoity-toity side than, for example, Futurist Miami, that's going to be more on the degen side.
Hoity-toity.
And your next trip is to Germany, and what are you getting into there?
I am on another side quest to a toy convention because I am an adult with adult money now. So we get to go to the fun things we couldn't go to as kids.
Cha-ching. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. So that sounds awesome and amazing. And you mentioned previously that you had written a paper about whether or not the world might be ready for a crypto standard. And you happen to be at this crypto activity week-long event over in Barcelona. Did you have a chance to present it, or did you change any of your views since you initially wrote it? I'm assuming no, because from the very beginning you said we are.
Yeah, it's honestly been exciting because I'm starting to actually get a few citations from my paper. So it was really nice to actually see the industry recognition. And just a month ago, prior to this, we actually had some shadow finance meetings happening in Canada.
You got a couple citations on your paper?
Yes. So finally, thank you. So it's really exciting to see that we have the shadow finance meetings happening up in Ottawa. We're essentially trying to push for our own version of Genius. And with Genius, we are also going to need clarity and definitions. We don't need to agree on solutions, but we need to at least figure out what certain things are called and what their constraints are. I do believe that the EU started on a good track. They started doing hackathons to do the first Micra, but then they just veered off and stopped listening to industry experts. What I've been really trying to do is put pressure on the Canadian government for us to shift away from the sovereign laggard position that we're in, where we're essentially letting the rest of the world decide the course of this, and then we'll just tag along at the end. I do believe that with the very strong innovators that Canada has, from our first crypto ATM to Buterin with Ethereum to having the world's first ETFs, we should be trusting our experts that are leading these industries forward abroad. Why not do that in Canada as well? And I do believe that there is a responsible way that we can do it, because a lot of this pushback that we're receiving comes from misinformation and, media stories that can very easily be disproven. We need to remember that, yes, there are a ton of issues with crypto, but we also have to think we are moving forward with the future of technology, and we think our banking is going to stay in the 1900s. That doesn't make sense. So there has to be some sort of digitalization of banking, and this is going to be it. So how do we do this responsibly? I don't think that governance and regulation means abandoning degen principles or data privacy and sovereignty, which is what we're starting to see the EU shift towards. And that's the protection of digital sovereignty. We've had a few nations there already. I believe it was Denmark. I might be wrong. Please correct me. That actually made it where you own your own likeness instead of taken advantage of, as other countries just prefer big data to have the rights to everything.
So I guess my question is, and this is a really deep subject, so I mean, we're not going to be able to cover anything like this within the next 10 minutes or so, but there is a decade, like a plan going forth over the next decade or so. Some of the major players like the BlackRocks and some of the other, I mean, just to name a few, right, are talking about the tokenization of the U.S. economy and how we're going forward with that. Is that some of the things you're hearing about that, and what's your thoughts on that? Because I noticed at the very beginning you said we're not ready for it. So tell me what your thoughts are on our U.S. economy becoming tokenized.
So I do still firmly believe that you need to tie to something real for it to have value. But the other major component is trust. And trust doesn't come from saying, yeah, I got you. Trust comes from proving, yeah, I got you. That's why when we shifted away under Nixon off of fiat, we really opened ourselves up to a system where the math just isn't mathing. We're not going to catch up. It's always going to be inflation. We're finally actually having economists come back and say, yeah, this wasn't the best of ideas. We had Deaton come out and release his statement just recently in the past 8 months that was sending shockwaves around. But in terms of what's happening with the states, it follows a bit of the problem of consumer faith and trust as well. I do believe that some of the implementation along their timing could have been done in a more responsible manner. I do believe in separating where your president isn't going out and being able to manipulate the markets for personal benefit. I do think we need to have that separation of sovereignty if we want to actually get the acceptance from people, because again, we're fighting already against the misnomer that the only people that use crypto are criminals. It's frustrating because on one hand, you have this really awesome technology. We should be taking it more seriously. Why do we have AI plans, energy plans, quantum plans, but we don't have a single plan on how to even start thinking about crypto tabletops?
Well, the question is because it disrupts the
Status quo.
I'm trying to like, well, I was going to say something else, but ultimately I think we've fallen on the fact that crypto can only be tied to currency. There's a lot of other uses in the blockchain. So what are your thoughts around that?
I definitely do not see crypto taking over as its own standard. Absolutely not. It's always going to have some sort of hybrid with fiat because our entire world runs on fiat. And no matter how many techies I can run into, and we might have our perfect little bubble lives, I actually travel for fun. And let me tell you that the rest of the world is not so connected. What happens when all the power goes out tomorrow because somebody's decided that, okay, well, we want to be a vindictive nation today?
PWS, sorry.
It goes in every direction. I'm just
saying I was watching HBO Max and all of a sudden my TV show stopped working. But anyway, go ahead.
I didn't have music.
I know. It was crazy. I was like, what's going on? But that's because we're all tied to that cloud service.
But we also have a dependency on these systems that are built a certain way. In Africa, again, I do apologize, I forget which country, I believe it might have been Kenya or Nigeria, where they managed to create an entire banking system, a digital banking system that just needs a phone number for
M-Pesa.
the KYC.
Yeah, M-Pesa.
Yeah. And then in North America, they need your name, your last name, and your firstborn son. Like that's all to feed big data that we already know is moving more towards this digital surveillance program. For a long time on Latest in Cyber, I've been calling out the nefarious intents behind Flock, which has now paired up with Ring as well to provide law enforcement with direct access to cameras in every single community with or without your consent. They say it's with your consent, but the amount of requests being fulfilled without checking to see if that consent has even been given or if the proper paperwork has been provided for that request is insane.
So I'm excited to hear more about this. The thing is, though, you just said something that I have no idea what that means. What is a flock? Is that correct? Is that what I repeated here?
Yeah, so Flock is America's largest nationwide surveillance program. Flock essentially is all of the speed cameras going around to catch your car's license plates. They have built a map of America tracking all vehicles and their radius and their regular traffic patterns. They have paired up with I forget what the name of the company is that provides the dash cam footage to turn every single vehicle into a roving 360 camera that can be accessed by law enforcement anytime they want. And now they have paired up with Ring, Amazon's doorbell security cameras, which also have a notorious history of just providing access without doing any sort of due diligence whatsoever for years.
Wow, thank you. You just keep teaching us things in a minute or less, and I love that.
But she's tech adjacent though.
I am. I don't.
You gotta stay
Right.
humble. You gotta stay humble. You gotta stay humble.
I'm on to you.
One of these days. One of these days. Plus, you'd probably regret it. I'd be on Team OSINT all day, every day. Imagine what I'll come up with.
Rico love being found, so he ain't worried about it at all.
I'm not hard to find. If your OSINT against me is failing, that means you should probably try another trade. Pick up another skill.
More friends should do it for their girlfriends. It's a great exercise. Highly recommend.
Not that kind of. This is not that kind of show.
I mean, it's a great way to make sure your friends are safe.
But we can
See y'all later.
Yeah, let's take that offline.
I'll see y'all later.
We about to be real life friends.
I'm hanging up.
About to do. So with you being such a high achiever in all of these varied areas, besides going to toy conferences, what else do you do for fun?
I've decided to write another thesis paper that my uncle has informed me I'm not allowed to call a thesis because I don't have university affiliation. But 195 pages say what now? That's what I keep responding to him with. But no,
How many pages?
190. I
That
like
soundboard.
research.
That soundboard again.
I mean, to be fair, this is what I did as a kid anyway. I would actually do my own research projects because I was bored in school. So again, side quests. I just love devouring subjects and fully immersing myself in them. And now with adult money, I get to actually do that IRL. So I try to fit my travel schedule around conferences. And as long as my travel budget remains less than how much it would cost me to live in Toronto on a monthly basis, I'm technically saving money.
So,
That math
Ebony,
is math.
Girl,
we can see you. Just remember, you just all the expressions. Anyway,
What's that?
see all the expressions. We can see you.
Great. You should be able to see.
So
I like when she's energized like this, though.
Yeah. Sometimes she's very statuesque.
I would ask, what do you do when you gotta get away? But it seems you're always getting away.
well, I'll do like what I did for the past week with Clubhouse. I will just not answer the phone. So I'm still completely immersed. I'm unable to step off of social media platforms. That's what I manage for clients on a daily basis. So even if I'm not on my personal social media, I'm having to consume algorithms every single day. I do enjoy having certain weekends or, the holidays where I'll book off, and I will purposefully go somewhere where you actually cannot reach me and the signal will not reach, because otherwise you're going to keep calling my phone.
Yeah, I did that earlier today.
Sorry. I just
Okay. You have a very lovely voicemail.
You're welcome. My voicemail literally tells people that I'm out of the country and good luck, and they should know the email if it's important.
I don't like being laughed at on mute. At least come off mute if you're gonna laugh at me, Ebony. So disrespectful. And you and Elixir cannot be friends.
Did you just say what now? What you call her?
Best friends, okay?
It's allowed.
even
It's
know
allowed,
you about to
Reggie.
be
It's allowed.
best
It
Did you
is
say
allowed.
elixir?
Yes.
Like she's some
That's
kind
what
of
he
remedy
just-
for
he's so
something?
upset. He can't even get
So the
Please
benefit
get
of
me
being
out
a
of this
roving
fire,
bartender
please.
is, so being a roving bartender, my nickname is Elixir. And when we went on Clubhouse, we did go professional for all of 2 minutes, but we have since changed back to not our regular names. So I go by Elixir on Clubhouse. And yes, in 2025, we are still active on Clubhouse.
See, Reggie thought I was giving you a pet name.
So you know what soundboard you're missing right now, Rico?
What?
The scene from Step Brothers with Ebony and Elixir. Damn it! Now you got me doing it. Did we just become best friends?
It sounds like we just became best friends, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I have been planning to start being a nomad in January, and I was just going to be in a different place every 4 to 6 weeks. And so I have been selling my stuff off. I've been like,
yes, girl, yes.
Thank you.
The best way to do it. So first of all, if you really want to get on this track, if you are American and you don't have a passport, please get on it. I know right now it's a little hard to get it, but please make sure they are active as soon as possible. The other thing is, I will say, start exploring other nations. So 3 months is typically my jumping point, because if you want to go to the Schengen area, which is the majority of Europe, but not all of Europe, you are allowed as a Canadian 90 out of 180 days. So if I go pop out to Cyprus is not in the Schengen area. So my visa resets. So now I've extended my time period a little bit. I will actually be starting my year out in Asia if you do happen to be out that way. And then I'm going to be jumping back on the conference circuit, most likely starting with Singapore in March. I actually do need to put that full travel schedule together, but I also need to pack my suitcase for a flight in about 4 hours. So priorities.
I'm not going to hold you, but we're going to be best friends in real life. So don't worry.
I will
I'm
not
gonna tell
be
you
giving you her
right now, I'll be on
information.
Clubhouse.
I'm not giving you her information, Ebony. No.
It's okay. I
That's
already
not gonna
found her.
happen.
I already
I'm
found her. What are
blocking.
you talking about?
Yeah,
You
I
don't
found
have
her.
researching? Please.
I
Yeah,
think
with y'all's
I already
argument.
found her too. I'm just saying. She's pretty easy to find. It's not like she
Why
has
did
a
you
really.
find her?
I find all of our guests on LinkedIn. I connect with all of our LinkedIn guests. All of our guests on LinkedIn. And it's not like she got a name. I only do LinkedIn. I don't do any other social media. So, but
Did you see
it's
my
not like
dramatic announcement for my paper?
I looked at I went there and I said connect, and then I closed this browser. Sorry. I didn't do anything.
He said he found you. He didn't say he completed the research.
No, I just said, oh, there she is, and I hit connect. So, and then I closed the browser.
My favorite thing after publishing it this year was I just had a lot of not coworkers, but like just friends within the industry that are like, oh, I didn't realize that you took things seriously. And I'm like,
well, it wasn't a hard name to find either. It's not too many.
no.
Go ahead and do it. You know you want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time today. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I look forward to our friendship in the future, and I hope that you enjoy the trip that you are about to embark.
I'm super looking forward to this. And it's the one convention I can go to and I don't have to worry that somebody has a flipper in their bag.
So, I think you need to find. They're gonna play drums and build a bunk bed. Y'all never seen the movie Step Brothers? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to mail her a vest. so we can take pictures.
Well, I actually did build a bunk bed studio in my home apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So I just
hopefully
got to
it was-
get there, and we in it.
And then it has like a tech cave underneath, so yeah, it's fun.
That's dope. So we're gonna be respectful of your time. We don't want you missing your flight, of course. You guys got any parting thoughts before we let Elixabeth do her thing? Yeah, like I did it. I did it right that time.
You caught yourself. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I did.
It's hard. It's like an addiction. Once you do it once, you just want to keep doing it.
It wasn't that hard. I'm great.
No, I don't have any parting thoughts. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have the travel that you need.
Thank
Like,
you.
every time she says something, it's just she says it like a computer voice. I don't know. Hey, so
Any
Hey,
parting
everybody.
thoughts, Reggie?
so it was great.
Ran over there.
Yeah, Ebony trips me out every time she does her commercial voice.
My hospitality voice.
Yeah, something like that. Like you know when you call like a service and you ask for a human, but she sounds like the voice when you ask for a human. Like, is this a real person? Yes, I am. I am a real person. My name is Ebony. No, it's not. Give me a real person.
Sir, will you
Anyway.
lock in before this girl misses her flight?
Hey, this is this what keeps the show fun. Anyway, no, it was great meeting you. Great interview. I love all the stuff that you're talking about. Your future casting. I like the future casting. I like what you're thinking about where we're going in the future as opposed to where we are. And yeah, thanks. I appreciate your time.
Thank you guys, and definitely look forward to connecting. Sorry, Rico.
Nah, I really enjoyed the energy you brought to the show. I mean, it's good. And then for Ebony to want to bring you into a band, compadres, that's special. That's
We
special.
just become best friends.
Yeah. All right. Well, great having you. Have a great night.
I'll see you guys. Bye.